In this video, we're going to talk about understanding your customers. So the second thing you have to do if you really want to understand your customers is you have to listen intently. So you've asked them some intelligent questions. Now you have to listen. So you want to listen to exactly what the customer wants, not what you want, and take notes if necessary. Okay? So when I have clients and I'm asking them questions, I'm listening exactly to what they're telling me. And here's a little trick. You guys want a little trick? This is ninja stuff. When a customer is telling you something, write it down. Take notes if you can. Why is that important? Because whatever a customer tells you in the order that they tell you, psychologically, the first thing is the most important thing to them. And then the second most important thing. And then the third most important thing. Okay? And then we're going to teach you some techniques of how to clarify to make sure that you're on the right track. But that's where you start. Write down, take some notes, exactly, and then read it back to the customer, right? So you want to make sure that the customer is getting exactly what they want, or at least that you know exactly what they want. Whether or not you can deliver it, we're going to have to see depending on your policies and what it is they're asking for, okay? But not what you want. That's the biggest thing. So in order to do that, it brings us to number 2. You have to actively listen to what the customer is saying, okay? So sometimes, have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and maybe it's a great conversation or you're so excited that you're just thinking of the next thing to say, right? You're like, would you just stop talking so I can tell you my thing? Does that ever happen? Yeah. So active listening is when you're actually fully engaged. You're making the eye contact. You're not formulating what it is that your response is going to be. You're just completely taking in the information from the person. That's active listening. Passive listening is when you're formulating your answer before they're even done speaking. Or you're thinking about, the football game, or you're thinking about something else that happened while somebody's talking to you. You're not hearing them. Remember, all of your customers want to be heard. So to do that, you have to actively listen to what the customer is saying. I hope that makes sense. Next, number 3, acknowledge verbally that you are actively listening. So every now and then, use this great phrase, I understand, or yes, of course. Okay, while you're making eye contact, while you're engaged, while you're present in that conversation. Okay? I had an entertainment company years ago, and we were based out of Beverly Hills, so we did a lot of parties for the studios, we did a lot of corporate events, we did a lot of celebrity events, and I'll never forget this one year, we were blessed enough to actually do a after party for the Academy Awards, right? For one of the big studios. And so we did these meetings and we brought in our teams, and one of the things we were providing was a DJ. And they told us, they said there's this one particular song, it's this disco song that they just didn't want played. They thought it was cheesy, they thought it was overplayed, overdone, just one song. Out of the millions of songs there are out there, they didn't want one particular song. I said, great, that's easy. That is easy. We listened and understood. Well, there was another guy who was in the room with me, and he was DJing. And so I'll never forget, I'm downstairs, and he was DJing from this DJ booth, and there's all these people, there's celebrities everywhere, there's paparazzi, everybody's in their tuxes. I mean, this was a great night. And all of a sudden, I hear the first few bars of that particular disco song that the client didn't want. Everything stopped and was slow motion. I heard radios going off. I heard people just upset. The client came and grabbed me, put their hand on my shoulder and asked me, said, what is going on? You have to actively listen to exactly what your customers want. And how did that end? The party was great. Everybody had a great time, but I lost that client. I lost that client and didn't get that client back for years. And years later, I actually did do another event for them, and they still remembered the incident. That's how important this is, okay? So let's review. You have to listen intently. Listen exactly to what the customer wants, not what you want, and take notes if necessary. And next, actively listen to what the customer is saying. Do not get caught ahead to formulate your response. And acknowledge verbally that you are actively listening with, I understand. Yes, of course. Okay? And then you have to deliver on whatever it is they're looking for. All right, we'll catch you in the next video.